And the news media is finally focusing on the problems caused by Donald Trump's tariffs.
Well, let's talk about Trump's record during his first term. He did impose rounds of tariffs, and it cost Americans nearly $80 billion in new taxes. Do you acknowledge that imposing more tariffs will ultimately cost consumers?
Well, what it really does is it penalizes importers from bringing goods outside the country into the country.
That answer was, of course, a lie, as is every word Donald Trump has ever said about tariffs. It took 8 years. It took 8 years to finally get the news media to focus on the lies Donald Trump and now J.D. Vance tell about tariffs. It has been a very lonely 8 years for me, having had to explain repeatedly on this program what most people already know, which is that tariffs are paid by the consumers in the country that imposes the tariff.
What actually is a tariff? Nobody knows.
China doesn't pay Trump tariffs. We pay Trump tariffs. That is the point of a tariff. The purpose of a tariff is to raise the price of that imported good so that Americans will not be able to buy as much of that imported good. So every penny of Trump's tariffs, every penny of them, has been paid by Americans in the form of higher prices. And all of the tariff money collected by the United States government has been paid out to farmers across Iowa and elsewhere in the country to make up for the massive losses they have suffered in grain sales to China, because China retaliated against the Trump tariffs by, among other things, not buying agricultural products from the United States of America. Many of those Iowa farmers who lost their grain sales and their income are still voting for Donald Trump because they're now the biggest welfare recipients in American history. They have received $28 billion in cash payments, just cash, here it is, directly to them for doing absolutely nothing. And no one in the Republican world is worried about the work ethic of those farmers who are collecting that no-strings-attached money directly from the federal treasury to make up for the farmers' loss of income from trade with China. Donald Trump's tariffs are sales taxes on you that are in effect used to make huge welfare payments to American farmers. And now Donald Trump wants to impose even more tariffs, which former Treasury Secretary and Harvard economics professor Lawrence Summers has called the worst economic proposal in U.S. history. Donald Trump has never once even come close to answering a reporter's question about tariffs, and J.D. Vance did not answer the question about tariffs put to him yesterday. They never answer questions. No matter how many questions you ask them, they do not answer. A lie is not an answer. I'm ready to heap praise on the reporter or debate moderator who asks Donald Trump the simple question, what is a tariff? Just those words, nothing else, because I think the world would find out that Donald Trump doesn't know what a tariff actually is.
What actually is a tariff? Nobody knows.